Right. Yes, as I mentioned, we're still live from Ole Sereni Hotel here in Nairobi. Thank you for staying with us here on Your World. We want to shift our attention to athletics now, especially the Absa Kip Keino Classic, taking, of course, place this Saturday, just over 24 hours from now, at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. Big names, more than 280 athletes have already come from more than 25 countries across the world, and we will be waiting for this very exciting competition to see big names, including Justin Gatlin, our Olympic silver medalist in the 100 meters, that is Fred Kali, Kenya's very own, of course, 1500 gold medalist, that is Faith Kipyegon, competing for the prizes and the medals for this weekend's competition. But remember, all that action will be live and free on NTV. For us to get more details on what this competition means, the names and the participants for this year, let's just introduce the people who are helping us with this discussion this morning. Again, Barnabas Korir, Athletics Kenya chairman. He was with me in the first hour of the conversation and still staying with me. Barnabas, welcome back. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, and also joining us at this hour is Moses Mudhui, is the acting director for marketing and corporate relations, that is at Absa. Moses, good morning, good to see you and welcome.
Good morning, thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
All right, maybe Barnabas, this is the good place to start with, because it's been a very busy year. We had the Olympics, we had the World Under-20 Championships, and now we have the Absa Kip Keino Classic. Just talk to us about this competition coming this weekend and what it means for Kenya to be given the opportunity once again for the second year to host this competition.
Thank you very much. This is the second edition of the Kip Keino Classic. We were given the opportunity to host it the last time, and it was very successful. For Kenya to be considered to host such event indicates that the confidence that World Athletics has in the leadership of this federation and also the country in the management of athletics in Kenya. And of course, to have so many athletes coming up, and Kenya being the superpower of athletics, fits it very well that we host such an event. It is actually something that should have happened a long time ago. Having that being the top country in athletics. So this is fitting us to host this event, and I'm sure that the Kenyan public will continue supporting us, and of course we get maximum support from the government that they have given us all the necessary financial support, and also having now Absa on board really adds the ice on the cake. So this is something.
And speaking about Absa, Moses, really, Kenya has always been an athletics power. There's no deniability. There's nothing to deny about that. It's pretty much obvious. But the problem is, all the time we've always waited to see our athletes boarding planes to go and participate and win medals in the competitions that happen outside the country, abroad. It's always about boarding planes and winning medals outside the country. But we're now starting to see these things happening in the country. We had the World Under-20 Championships the other day. We had the World Under-18, I believe, in 2017. And now we have the Absa Kip Keino Classic. Talk to us about what this means for you.
Yeah, so I think first of all, sports is really the pride of the country. There's nothing as unifying, and there's nothing that shapes our society as much as sports, and that is something as a brand, and as Absa, we are very pleased to make sure that we are part of sports, because sports is that one common denominator that brings the young people who are very ambitious about themselves, the older generation who are very connected to sports. So sports is an arena where as Absa we want to participate in, and that's why you've seen us in football in the English Premier League. You've seen us with golf, the Magical Kenya Open, and now in athletics in a big way. I think brand Kenya cannot be separated from athletics, and any business that wants to build itself in Kenya and be part of the brand Kenya, or a brand that is purposeful in Kenya, has to really think about being part of that heartbeat of Kenyan sports, which is athletics. And so for us, Absa Kip Keino Classic is a big event. we've always been supporting and working with our legends and athletes. But this is really our big show this weekend to come forth to partner with Barnabas and his organization, Athletics Kenya, and the government to just give a hand to make sure that we are there as a corporate citizen to support that heartbeat of our country, which is athletics.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me come back to you, Barnabas, then, because this is also happening during at a time when we still have COVID-19 here with us. The World Under-20 Championships was a big event, but we saw a few countries that missed due to issues of COVID-19. How is this year's event?
Honestly, the World Under-20, for example, was almost being cancelled. It was the persistence of the Kenyan government and also from the president of Athletics Kenya that continued to insist to World Athletics that it should go on. Otherwise, we would have actually missed it. It was almost gone. But the Minister of Sports, the CS, Dr. Amina Mohammed, and also our President insisted that we should go on. It was postponed until this year. And when it came now, the issue of Kip Keino Classic, we had also to request to postpone it from May until September so that we can prepare ourselves well. Again, we had challenges on how we are going to organize it. We convinced the World Athletics that this event must go on. We are not going to stop it. And of course, they were very happy about it, that we actually staged this event. Kip Keino Classic is a very important event. The name itself, Kip Keino, refers to the legend, who is also with us today. It reflects the success story of athletics in this country that goes back all the way to 50s and 60s. And I can assure you that that trend has been going on since that time. And you also saw when we lost the steeplechase in the Olympics, the reaction from the public that this is an event that we should not have lost. Shows that Kenyans have done so well in certain events that we actually have discovered or actually alluded to the fact that it is our traditional events.
Okay. And speaking about El Bakali, of course, and losing out on that 3,000 meters, this event has also attracted big names. I mean, Justin Gatlin, seeing someone who has dominated the track events for so long, seeing Fred Kali, the Olympic silver medalist in the 100 meters, seeing people like Peru Chemuchai from the neighboring Uganda participating in this competition. What does it mean for you?
Honestly, again, I think this is it's gone beyond our imagination. I never expected the turnout to be this way. The number of stars that have showed up is exceptionally good. We have Justin Gatlin. We also have El Bagali, with our athletes in Tokyo. That one now will be a rerun of Tokyo. All the athletes who ran in Tokyo, they are going to compete with him. We have Beirut from Uganda, our neighbor here, beating our own Ivan. So they have to come and also try to see if they can defend their events on home soil. I can tell you that the turnout has been huge, and I think it is also the success story of World Under-20 that Kenya has been seen as now as a country that can stage successfully major events. And of course, with the issue of tourism, we have also national parks within this city. 20 athletes have already gone this morning to see if they can see the animals.
Amazing.
They're already there, including also Justin Gatlin also is in the back now. So you can see the results and what we can also earn from sports in Kenya.
Okay, but Moses, from what I'm picking from this is really the intersection between sports and how it can transform the entire economy, seeing athletes who are now in the national park promoting our tourism sector.
Yeah, I think this is really the power of collaboration. And as private sector, we're always very pleased when we see multiple points of collaboration with the Ministry of Sports and Culture, with our Ministry of Tourism, with other ministries. And what we look to bring to the table is obviously the commitment as private sector we have to this economy. So as Absa, when we look at the partnerships we've had before, Ministry of Sports has been one that has been outstanding for us in terms of partnering with the Magical Kenya Open, with also Ministry of Tourism. Remember, with our Magical Kenya Open, the golf, it opened up Kenya to 500 million homes globally. So people viewed Kenya, 500 million homes globally. And what that does to the economy and to brand Kenya and to tourism, and with us as Absa being part of that partnership to take Kenya to the global stage. And now, as Barnabas says, you have the greatest athletes coming to the country, and you are seeking to find a partnership with ourselves to enable that work. But also, let's not forget about domestic tourism, and that our own local Kenyan athletes and the commitment they have in this country. And we've got to continue supporting them as well and making sure that the local economy, to speak from a sports point of view, still thrives. And that's why last year we partnered with the likes of Victor Kiprop, David Rudisha, Catherine Dereba, to really be present to the communities. A tune of about 45 million shillings going to young people, to schools, building computer labs, building observation blocks, going to Kaptagati 10 and Kapsabet with them to support his camps. The points of partnerships are so many for us. And the rallying call Absa has to the rest of the private sector is let's join hands with government and government institutions and ministries and make it worthwhile for our country.
That's amazing. And of course, we'll be joined shortly, of course, virtually by the NMG sports editor, that is Elias Makori. He's been away from the country following the Tokyo Olympics last month. He's also been stayed behind to follow the Paralympics, and is now, of course, focusing his attention on this Saturday's Absa Kip Keino Classics. He will be telling us much more about his experiences and what it informs this Saturday's event. But really back to that point about the partnerships, because what came out from our conversation, and I think Barnabas will agree, our earlier conversation was this is something that cannot be left out to the government alone. We need to see more active participation from the private sector. So for this year's Kip Keino Classics, where exactly do you come in as a partner as Absa?
So we're pleased to be the title sponsors. Obviously, as I said, collaboration is the bedrock. Government and Athletics Kenya have also come in a big way. But for us as Absa, we provided sponsorship funding, about 15 million shillings, and then additional costs that go to enabling the success of the event, so a total of about 20 million. But also, I think what is a sweetener is that for every Kenyan who wins any event tomorrow, Absa is going to add to the prize money 50,000 shillings.
Oh, amazing.
And we'll give them a free Absa account that comes with financial planning, savings, investments, because we also realize, not just athletes, but all of us, we have to inculcate a culture of savings and investments. And athletes win big money, and they will need that support to make sure that they plan their financial lives adequately. So I think that's from a sponsorship point of view. But I think what's more important is we seek to build a long-lasting relationship. So we don't see it, at least for now, as a one event. We see more points of partnerships looking forward. The more we can bring multiple parts of private sector and the government, not just in athletics but other parts of sports. I think this weekend is just the beginning. As a brand, we've said we have to be committed to the parts of the country that speak our language. And our language in terms of sports, in terms of tourism, in terms of the economy, and the young people specifically who are very ambitious and tenacious. They're just looking for a helping hand. And Absa, we understand that, we see that need, and we seek to collaborate and partner to make sure that this weekend indeed goes successfully. But for many years to come, we're still part of the whole ecosystem.
Barnabas, for a long time, that is what Moses is talking about, is what has always been the sort of the missing link, really.
Yes, I'm really excited about the entry into athletics, especially for Absa. We are really happy about that. And, we need to build a partnership with the private sector so that the federations cannot rely only on the government. And to do that, there's a link that we need to make sure that we establish, and that is transparency on how we run also our affairs. In the past, most of the corporations were hesitant in funding other federations because of the perception that maybe their affairs are not run above board. We want to assure that Absa, that at least Kenya is transparent, and we are open to any inspection to ensure that all the funding that is given to our federation by the government or the private sector is utilized in the proper and most efficient way that benefits our athletes. So that is the area that we have to look into, so that we build a trust between Let's Kenya and also the sponsorship that comes from the corporate bodies, and we make sure that our athletes also benefit, and they know and understand that what we are doing is for the benefit of this country, and to ensure that we build a culture of responsibility and integrity.
I definitely want to come back to you on the issue of what Kenyans should expect to see this weekend. Either they can make it to the stadium or even live on NTV. But before I do that, Moses, really, every time you mention Absa or Barclays, back then the first thing that would come to your mind is the English Premier League or football events, and even much more recently in Kenya it used to be about golf. But seeing your partnership with Eliud Kipchoge, seeing what you're doing with the Kip Keino Classic now, we're seeing you go much more prominently into athletics. Just talk to us about what informed this bit more intentional move towards athletics.
Yeah, I think it's where the need is, number one, and where the opportunity also is. And when I say opportunity, it's not so much a commercial opportunity for Absa, but it's an opportunity for Absa to be part of the fabric of our country. We realize, and for many years we've understood, having been here for over 100 years, the only way you become successful is to be a good corporate citizen. And for you to be a good corporate citizen, you have to be part of what drives the society. And so athletics was very well connected to our long-standing purpose. We always like to say at Absa, we bring possibilities to life. And that's not just for our customers, but also for the country at large and our fellow Kenyans. When you look at the spirit of a young Kenyan, and I saw this when I went to Kaptagat, Eliud Kipchoge last year, those young Kenyans waking up at 5 a.m. to clock in over 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers, repeat in the evening and repeat every other day. And that spirit that they have and the tenacity they have to just want to get things done very much speaks to our brand purpose and our brand rallying call, which is Africanacity. Always finding a way to get things done. And so there isn't a better place for us than to be behind Kenyan athletes to make sure that they can continue to make their dreams come true and to make their possibilities come to life. And really, I think it's back to, we cannot be part of this country without speaking the language of sports, which is per se athletics. But even more broadly, as you said, in football and in golf, those have got their own partnership opportunities, and we'll continue to leverage those ones as well.
All right. So, of course, we have been talking about the Absa Kip Keino Classic taking place this Saturday at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. We've seen big names flying into the country, Justin Gatlin, Fred Curley. But the question that probably you have in your mind is, what are the competitions that we'll be seeing this weekend, and will Kenya thrive as we usually do? We'll talk about all that when we come back from this quick commercial break.
Your baby's quite active.
After I discovered Molfix, I rediscovered my baby. She's jumping and running around.
Well, we call that the Molfix Comfort. Thanks to its elastic side bands, Molfix provides freedom of movement for your baby. All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Fresh fried ginger has ginger oil, which is good for a healthy living lifestyle. It combines wonderfully on salads, stir-fries, when basted on roasted meat, or simply sprinkled on your favorite dish. Now available in 250 ml, 500 ml, and 1 liter.
Yeyote unataka kumake dream zake zikam true, tutawak na wewe kuzitimiza kwa urahisi. Hii ndio Africanacity. Hii ni Absa.
It's one platform where everybody has a voice.
If we don't have jobs, if we don't have money, if our business...
Hosted by the King of Wit.
Do you know the Bible to that much detail? Ama hizi ni zile tu zinaendanishana na dhambi zenye unajua.
It's basically everybody's show.
Vitamin C ni cassava, shauri ya nguvu. Vitamin D ni dania.
Na chakula anaimba. I have decided.
The Wicked Edition with Dr. Kingori and the Guesswork CEO, Kenya Jui.
The Kisumu County Assembly specializes in stimulants, to be specific, concentrated coffee.
Where humor meets sense.
Moses Kure amenitwanga hapa serious.
Soldiers wanakuanga wameka polisi kids. Mbona nyinyi mkimbiangi mkituona?
The Wicked Edition. Every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Only on NTV.
Kwa tunakutana mtoni, nilikuwa naona ananipenda juu alikuwa ananipea pesa, ananipea 200 300.
Bila nilipata mimi nilimwambia, yeye mwenyewe akasema atachunga, lakini wazazi wake hatudani kama wamekubali.
Venye nilijikundua niko na ujauzito wake, nikamwambia, akaniambia hapana, si yake.
Hao watoto ni mapacha na sasa wamejifungua safari moja at the same time.
Sasa kulea huyu mtoto ni maisha ngumu.
Nikamwambia, mama, utachunga mtoto, mimi nisiende shule kwanza.
Watoto wasichana wanaumia sana. Kuna wengine wako nyumbani hata wameshindwa kwenda shule.
Nikipata support narudi shule, nisome, nikuwe nurse.
You have been through it all.
I got tripped.
Everyone else is behaving like, man, you are a failure, man.
Every week it was just something happening.
You have been to the trenches and back.
I've been poisoned, I survived.
I keep telling God, as long as you give me grace, as long as you give me strength and open up my ways, I will work for this child. I'll never burden anyone.
Yet you are here. You are stronger and better for it.
I lack sight, but my vision surpasses.
I needed education that badly. I went back to Form 2 at 26 years.
This show is about you and heroes like you. Yes, you. This is Unscripted.
AMRC's objectives are aligned with the government's affordable housing pillar of the Big Four agenda. Visit any of the participating financial institutions today and start your home ownership journey. Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company, unlocking liquidity for affordable housing.
Alright, thank you for staying in the world on NTV this morning, live from Ole Sereni Hotel here in Nairobi. We are talking about athletics in Kenya, especially the Absa Kip Keino Classic happening this Saturday, live and free on NTV. I'm still with Barnabas Korir, the Athletics Kenya chairman, as well as Moses Mudui, the acting director for marketing and corporate relations. That is at Absa. Let's just pick it up from where we left it, gentlemen. And really, for anyone who's watching Barnabas, the question that they're asking themselves is, we've had a very exciting Olympics period. We've had a very exciting World Under-20 Championships. What can we expect in terms of the competitions for this weekend's feat?
It is going to be fireworks because we have a combination of athletes who took part during the Olympic Games and the athletes also that did not make the Olympics, but they have done so well in the Diamond League Series, and we have also a mixture of our young athletes that won the gold medals during the World Under 20. Especially 100 meters, it's going to be fireworks when we have Justin Gatlin with Omanyala. Justin Gatlin is a three-time world champion in the 100 meters. Kathleen Omanyala is, of course, the national record holder, running 10:9:86 in the 100 meters. 200 meters, we have Makwala, also who is going to run, and Bailey. Bailey is also one of the fastest runners in the 200 meters in the world this year. Of course, we have the steeplechase winner of the Olympics, who beat our Kenyans. And remember that this event was won from 1968 until now. We lost it this year to El Bagali from Morocco. He's also here. He was the first one to arrive in Kenya last week. And of course, with that, we have Kigen, who was a bronze medalist during the Olympic Games. We have also added the young man who actually was running like Ezekiel Game Boy.
Yes.
Amos Serem.
Amos Serem really made...
Yes, I was even wondering whether we are going to get somebody like Ezekiel Game Boy. But finally, we have one now. We want to see what he has for us to see. That. And the 1500 meters women, Faith Kipyegon. She is also a fantastic lady. She won the Olympics. She has won that. She was the defending champion after winning the Olympics in Rio. World champion also. And now she's coming to Nairobi for the first time. So we have really great athletes from Kenya and outside the country also. 800 meters, we have Ferguson, who was also silver medal in the 800 meters in Tokyo, and Saruni, who won the national championship, but he did not make to the finals during the Olympics. 5,000 meters, the young man, Michael Kibet. He missed narrowly winning a medal in Tokyo. He is also a new sensation for this country, and we want to see what he has running with athletes from Eritrea and Ethiopia. And of course, we have Robert Kohech, the young man who won the 5,000 meters during the World Under 20. So we have a series of events that it will be broadcast live through NTV, and it will be really good if Kenyans were going to see this, because this is a closing. This is the last event of the season, and we wanted to close it with a bang. We have all the mixture of top athletes from outside the country, Olympics from Kenya, and this is going to be the best event of the season. You have seen for yourself the organization. As we have been sitting here, you have seen the arrivals from other countries continuously, and by the end of today, we have a full house to ensure that the event goes very well.
Okay, quite an action-packed Saturday, really, that we Kenyans can expect. But really, I'm just curious, Moses, for you, what's your favorite race, by the way?
So I think I'd like us to see take back our dominance on the 3,000 steeplechase.
Yeah.
I think I'd like us to take that back, and of course the 1,500 meters. Faith Kipkeino. I think those two for me.
She's my favorite.
Yeah, those two for me are top on the list of what I want to see. But I think, as Barabas says, the fireworks of the 100 meters.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to see what our young man Omanyala can do.
Running on home soil.
It's home soil. It's home ground. I think favor is on our side. But we've got the best of the best, the three sprinters from the US, from America with us. But I'm really looking forward. His determination and just how he's been taking a step further in his times for the sprint tells us anything is possible tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. But maybe, Barnabas, something really important about this is this is the second event that we're hosting, I think, in just under 2 months. And the importance about this is, we spoke earlier, especially if Elias can join us, the importance of successfully holding this competition and how it's going to determine whether we're actually going to get to be given a chance to host any other bigger event in the future.
You know, the importance of this event cannot be gainsaid. We have applied for the World Championship in the 2025. We have a series of other events that are coming up before then, and the success of this event also will indicate whether Kenyans are capable of organizing the events. We have the talent, we have the athletes, we have everything. The only thing that remains now is to prove ourselves also. Apart from having the best athletes in the world, are we able to organize an event of such a magnitude? Are we able to ensure that the security of those who will come, the organization skills structures are in place? Do we have infrastructure for the events that we are asking for us to host? That is why World Athletics have the bait to see us organize this small event as we build ourselves to get the capacity to host an event of world championship level.
And this definitely cannot happen without you, Moses, without the private sector. We've seen you, I mentioned earlier, Eliud Kipchoge, the partnership. Now we have Kip Keino Classics, and we can only wonder, as Kenya bids for this bigger competitions, will we see you again much more prominently as we're seeing you now?
So I think first of all, the part of all this that can be really underestimated, which is very important, is logistics.
Yeah.
And the ability to organize, as Barnabas talks about, is very, very important. As Absa, we are very pleased with the organization we've seen this event. The full support of General Koué, the full support of the Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Absa Amina Mohammed, and just that full support to make sure that there's no part of logistics that fails. I think that determines the success of organizing, determines the ability to even win bigger events in future. And who knows, maybe from here is the Diamond League. And I think that's a challenge, not just for Barnabas, but for all of us to collaborate to make sure that we bring the next level. Because the Continental Tour, we've now got the gold event. It's the only country on the continent hosting the Continental Tour. Hopefully more countries will come in. The next big stage is, where do we go from here? Diamond League, where do we go from there? Probably, who knows, Olympics at some point. And as a private sector and as Absa, we always look to see ability to collaborate, the ability to make sure there's seamless logistics, providing our support financially and in kind, to make sure that logistics works. And the working relationship we have for this Saturday or for tomorrow is proving to us that we are ready to even host bigger events in the future.
All right, let me just come back to you, Barnabas, with this, because what we are seeing now is literally a culmination of what we were able to successfully host, I think, in 2017 and this year's event. But really, from where you sit, because this has never happened before, could you say confidently that Kenya would be able, given the chance, to successfully host the 2025 World Championships?
I want to confirm to you and to assure you that the Kenyans have the capacity to host the event. Given a chance, they have always done that. You have seen the Kenya Open, you have seen the Safari Rally. We had the World Cross Country that was held in 2007 in Mombasa. We have had the World Under 20, World Under 18 in 2017. We have had the World Under 20 this year, and now we are doing the second edition of the Kip Keino Classic. So Kenyans have the capacity, they have the know-how, and of course the determination to do great things. The only thing I always say is that if we move away from doing things the last minute, I can tell you that Kenyans are always capable of staging even any major championships given to them.
Okay, but let me just come back to something critical that came out also in our first half of the conversation, which was the issue of whether the fans can actually come to the stadium.
Yes, you had Omanyala, you know.
He was very keen on it.
Yes, he was very keen, but I want to tell you also that in this Kip Keino Classic, we have 3 different categories of the events. We have the co-events, which is mandated by World Athletics. Discretionary events is a decision by the Federation to give to World Athletics to confirm that we can host it. And of course, the national events, which is the discretion of the Athletes Kenya to put the events that they want to have. When Omanyala ran 986, there was huge interest from the public that we should have him run the 100 meters. So we requested World Athletics to allow us to change another event so that we can put the 100 meters as the last event of the day. Of course, we were allowed by World Athletics, and that's why we are going to have it. When he requested now for the fans to be there, of course, I will not even resist that. I would still continue requesting the government to ease a little bit so that the people can come and watch. There's so much excitement from the public, so much interest, more than any other time. They want to see the 100 meters, especially with Justin Gatlin and other athletes from America, from the Europe, to see them on the home soil. This is the first time most of them have come, and it is only right that they are given a chance to watch them on the home.
Okay.
Home ground.
All right. And let me just shift to something about sustainability, Moses, because if we were just with Omanyala here, and it's really brilliant what the kind of pride that he brings to the country, putting the country's name on the global map. And we're all happy for them. But sometimes we also have something that's not so pleasant to see, which is after their active years in sports where they're winning medals and earning prize money, we start to get to see stories in the media of people who are really struggling. And it goes to another point that Barnabas had raised about really having someone who can guide you through this journey. And I think as a representation of a financial institution on this conversation, just talk to us, first of all, your personal views in regards to now merging the issue of active sports as well as managing investment, especially what you earn.
Yeah. So I think first of all is a realization that financial planning or savings and investments is not a challenge to a small part of the like you're saying, athletes. I think it's a challenge for many people.
Yeah.
I think the savings culture, the investments culture, how sustainably we choose to manage our financials is a broad issue. So financial literacy is something that as Absa we are very keen on, not just for a small part, but for everybody, for all our customers. And we have programs we've developed over the years to make sure that we are there with our customers, to make sure that as a financial partner, we are providing the advice around where do you save, where do you invest, which financial products suit you at whatever stage you are in life. So that's a broad issue. I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing, you're right. We've got the pride of the country, which is young athletes who've become millionaires at a very young age.
Yeah.
And that is something to celebrate. It just shows the ability of our young fellow Kenyans. They, of course, need a sound financial partner who will advise them. You can imagine when you're 19 years old or early 20s, how much did you know about finance and investment?
Very little.
And how much did you think about saving for retirement, when you're 60? So it's something that's very unique for athletes. And that's why we're saying from this event, and indeed many other events we've had, but from this coming event, we'll be there to provide financial support and financial advice to athletes. And we hope we can make this a long-term commitment, where when you win millions in your early 20s or in your teens or your mid-20s, that as you mature in life, you have sustainable investments that support you and your family and your communities. I think something that's also very pleasing, which cannot be also underestimated, is seeing our legends going to philanthropy and into foundations in a big way. Eliud Kipchoge launched his foundation, was it last week or the week before? He's big on conservancy, he's big on education, he's big on sports. And we're very pleased when we see this happen, because that ensures that the younger generation that looks up to someone like Eliud, when they're going through their career, they're thinking about more longer term. But as Absa, we are there for athletes, we're there for our fellow Kenyans to provide that financial advice. It's not a small problem to a small part. I think it's a broad-based issue.
All right, wonderful. That's the kind of long-term partnership I was looking for. But we also have Elias Makoro, who is now ready to join us. Elias, it's good to see you. It's been a very busy weeks, if not months, for you with the Olympics, the Paralympics, and it's good to see you back in the country for the Kip Keino Classic. Let me just ask you for your reflections for this weekend's meet.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say a big congratulations to the organizing team led by Director Barnabas Korir, of course, the sponsors, the government of Kenya and Absa. I mean, it's huge, it's surreal, because who would have ever thought Justin Gatlin will be running at Kasarani? I remember in 2017 watching him in London at the World Championships, where he beat Usain Bolt in the 100 meters and became world champion. He's here, Fred Curley, one of the top sprinters in the world, Isaac Makwala, Trayvon Bromell, the fastest man in the world this year. it shows the kind of respect these athletes have for Kenya. And it's just the beginning of better things to come. I know Barnabas and his team will already on next year's event from tomorrow night, from Saturday night after the event, because they need to retain these athletes. Perhaps get Fred Kali, Trevon Bromell, Jose Maria Talu signing contracts to come here again next year. So it's really a culmination of like you said earlier, the events that we've been hosting, which gives World Athletics the confidence that hey, Kenya can continue hosting these events. And remember, the Continental Tour, I mean, it was a blessing for Kenya to get onto the gold status, because there are 3 tiers: there's bronze, there's silver, and there's gold. And then on top of the gold, there's a Diamond League, which means naturally, according to World Athletics, any event in the Diamond League that does not live up to expectation will be dropped, and the best events from the Continental Tour Gold will be promoted. It's like football, the Premiership and the National League. If teams are relegated, others are promoted. So hopefully, if we continue hosting good events, it means then others will be relegated from the Diamond League, and the Kip Keino Classic will be elevated. So it's a sign of good things to come.
Yeah. Okay, and Makori, definitely it's a huge thing for Kenya to be able to host this, as you mentioned. But even before I let you go, there's also the issue then of performance. This being the last event of the series, of the Gold Series for the year, then what lessons can we pick from the Olympics performances and also the World Under-20 that could perhaps inform our performance and how we should go into this weekend's meet?
Well, the performance is about, how the coaches and athletes prepare their season. It's been a long season. It's been a tough season. It's been an Olympic season. And we are now, in September. It means, athletes need to manage how they're going to peak. It will be interesting to see how Justin Gatlin, for example, will run, because he had a hamstring problem at the U.S. national trials, finished 4th. And, at his age, he's been able to maintain good shape. Trevon Bromell ran, the fastest time in the year early this year. So it will also be interesting to see, does he still have that form? Will Omanyala upstage him? And remember, they're running for the first time in high altitude. They've only done that, I think, in Mexico. And a lot of things will come into play. And, it will only depend on how an athlete has managed his or her season. You saw Faith winning the Olympics, beating Sifan in Zurich. And these are last race of the year. So if she wins, that will be a statement on how to maintain your consistency throughout the season. So it's going to be, I'm sure there will be exciting times, although the athletes are a bit tired after a long season. But Kasarani does have its wonderful, moments. It's a very fast track. It's a very exciting track. And I think we are going to see exceptional performances tomorrow.
Okay, all right. That's Elias Makori, the NMG sports editor, giving us his own, of course, reflections as well as views regarding this weekend and expectations, of course, in terms of performance and regarding this weekend's Absa Kip Keino Classic. But even before we close this conversation, maybe I can just get perhaps your personal expectations for this very important event. Maybe I can start with you, Barnabas.
I think my expectation is that so far we have achieved what we really wanted to ensure that we have the athletes that the best in the world to come. They have already come. We expect to have very tough competition. Of course, our athletes from Kenya competing with athletes from other countries. I know it's going to be very, very tough. But of course, we want to have a very successful event. I want to thank also Absa for coming on board to support the government for the initiative of this event that will go through next year. We will have the first one in May, 7th of May, and from there on, we will now request the World Athletics to see if this event can be upgraded to Diamond League. And I'm sure that we are going to be given, provided that we do a very successful event tomorrow.
All right. Your expectations, Moses?
Yeah, so I think first of all, it's really a big day for the country. It's a big day for Kenya. This is on the Kenyan soil. We are fast arriving to the country and competing tomorrow. As Absa, we are very proud to partner with Athletics Kenya and the Ministry of Sports. We're also very privileged to get that opportunity to work with the ministry and Athletics Kenya more broadly. I think tomorrow is going to be a big day. I think it's going to be very exciting. Obviously rooting for our Kenyan athletes, but also looking forward to seeing the greats that there are in sprint as well as in the long races. And we hope that tomorrow demonstrates once again, as private sector working with government and collaborating, we can achieve even greater things. And the theme is exactly that. How do we continue to collaborate? How does Absa continue to commit to collaborate to make these events tomorrow and in the future a success? And we really look forward to that.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe Elias, I can allow you to just some 40 seconds to give us your closing remarks, and welcome back to the country, by the way.
Thanks. I mean, it's huge because it's no more than athletics, like Barnabas mentioned. Justin Gatlin is out at the national park as we speak. Sofiane El Bakali was at the national park, 2 days ago. And the images that they're sending on their Instagrams, their Facebook, their Twitters, handles, it's more than athletics. It's showing the beauty of Kenya. And it's good to see the government commitment, giving 250 million to the event, very good. And also, Magical Kenya Tourism Board has come on board and helping with this game drive. So yeah, it's more than athletics. It's about showcasing Kenya as a place to be.
All right, thank you very much. That is Elias Makori, the Nation Media Group sports editor. Barnabas, just 30 seconds on behalf of Athletics Kenya, your parting shot.
On behalf of Athletics Kenya, I want to thank the organizers of this event. I want also to thank the government for the support they have given us. Thank also the Absa for coming on board, and of course the entire athletic fraternity and the Kenyans at large for supporting Athletics Kenya to organize a world event of this magnitude. We appreciate all the efforts, and we are going to do whatever it takes to ensure that athletics in this country continues to grow.
All right, Moses, it's just probably just over 24 hours before this major event on behalf of the private sector and also Absa, much more importantly. Just give us your parting shot.
Yeah, first is thanks to Athletics Kenya, thanks to the Ministry of Sports and Culture, thanks to the government institutions involved in making sure that this partnership works. Rooting for Team Kenya. We're looking forward to seeing big wins tomorrow. And records broken. I think the pride of Kenyans breaking records is something that we are looking forward to see. And as Absa, we are committed, and we continue to be here working with all our stakeholders to make sure that we make sports to continue to be a great thing for our country, particularly athletics, the pride of Kenya in athletics. We are committed to continue seeing that happen, and we are here to support our stakeholders like Barnabas at Athletics Kenya.
All right, and that's where we have to leave this conversation. We have been talking about the Absa Kip Keino Classic happening this Saturday, which is just over 24 hours from now as we count down to this major event happening, of course, at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, bringing, of course, together big names, the ones that we've already mentioned, and we'll be, of course, waiting to see how Kenya performs in that major event. Many thanks to Moses Mudhui, the acting director for marketing and corporate relations at Absa, as well as Barnabas Korir, the Athletics Kenya chairman, for this conversation, as well as Elias Makori, who was also joined us virtually this morning, is the Nation Media Group sports editor. And of course, thanks to our host this morning, the Hola Sereni Hotel here in Nairobi. From me and the entire team, of course, coordinating this event, is thank you, goodbye, and God bless, and see you in Kasarani tomorrow. If you will not make it to Kasarani due to COVID-19, all the action will be live and free on NTV. Goodbye and God bless.